Well, hello all you fine people out there in YouTube land. This is the Texas Special, and I've been pretty busy here lately. I've been moving these last few days, and these last week or so we've just been getting everything organized and put back in its place. As y'all know, if you've been in the hobby long enough, the most exciting and fun thing to do with a model railroad is move it. Now thankfully my 4-foot by 16-foot Lionel railroad was built in 2 sections, so it wasn't the easiest to get moved, but it was possible to move it without completely dismantling it. One of the benefits of this move has been not only more space for myself and my wife and my child that I have on the way. Yes, I'm an expecting father. But I also stumbled upon, very accidentally, a cheap and effective method of making track ballast. What you're looking at right there is natural clay kitty litter. Yes, that's right, kitty litter. I've stumbled upon this bag of cat litter at the local grocery store for less than $4.50 because we needed cat litter for the cats, and I bought it simply because it was the cheapest thing they had, and my wife was a little critical of my selection, but it worked out because I happened to be sweeping up by the cat box on the floor, and I saw some of the granules, and I went over and I grabbed some clean ones from the bag, and it had just the right look to use for ballast, and I put some down on the track. Asked my wife what she thought about it, and she said it looked pretty good too, so I ran with it. This is the bag that started it all. This product is is made by a company called Sanisorb, and it is as I said, a natural clay cat litter. I picked up this large bag of about 20 pounds for less than $5. And with this bag I can ballast my entire railroad at the cost of $5 and some white glue. And I'm going to show you guys how I did it start to finish. Okay y'all, step 1, white glue. Doesn't have to be the name brand stuff, it can be the cheapo stuff. This I picked up at the dollar store down the street for 50 cents. Cheap spray bottle. Picked this up at the dollar store also for $1. Gonna open the bottle. Make sure that the little hose there is clean and nothing's gummed up. Then let some hot water run, let it warm up. While you're doing that, you can go ahead and open up the bottle. This happens to be one of them that has a plastic plug inside of the bottle, the mouth of the bottle, so I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Just be very careful that you don't let that little sucker flip over. And then go ahead and reattach the nozzle. Now, go ahead, open up the bottle, and continue until you have emptied out all of the glue out of the bottle. Okay, now that all the glue has been transferred out of the bottle, from the glue bottle into this spray reservoir, now we are going to fill it up with the warm water. Now, I like it kind of runny, but it's ultimately up to you how much you mix up the water to glue ratio, but I do like it very runny. That way it can seep down there in between the little granules of cat litter and do its job. Give it a good thorough shake so it mixes it up. Good thorough shake. You want all that glue to mix up and dilute so it can run down in between them granules. Alright, step 2. Okay, I've got a cup full of the Sanisorb kitty litter, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start putting it on the tracks. Start with the insides of the rails. And depending on how much of a perfectionist you are, you can have it either on the ties or resting, you know, between the ties with the ties completely and very perfectly and cleanly brushed off. It's your railroad. You do it how you want to. Me, I'm a little bit of a pragmatist, so long as it looks good, basically. Then you just take your finger and work it. Spread it out. And the beauty of this method here is, A, it spreads it out, it gets it off the base of the rails. If you want your ties completely, perfectly cleaned off, it also brushes off your ties. And just continue with this until you are happy with what it looks like on the, between the rails. Now for the outsides, you're doing the same thing. You're just taking it and very lightly, very gently, getting it to getting a rough coating, I guess you could call it, around the outside of the track. And you're going to do this on both sides. And again, how much you put down, that's on you. It's your railroad, that's your ultimate call. I personally I don't want to say I don't care, but I'm not that, hyper, perfectionist. I'll leave that to my wife. So then I'm going to take my finger and just run it across again, and very, very lightly, very gently. Just clean it off of the rail. Maybe bunch it back up a little bit here. Kind of sweep it back toward the track so it's not as wide. Get it off of the ties again, off the rail, and then just kind of very carefully just sweep it right on back without getting it back onto the rail itself. Push it down, and there you go. And just continue until you've got it the way you want it, the entire, looper track or track section or whatever, however you decide to work on it. Now, for the fun part, this is where the glue comes in. What you're going to do is adjust it so that it squirts however you want it to, very lightly. Just coat. Every now and then, give it a little shake, just to mix things back up. And get it good and soaking. Really soak it in. and just repeat the process on the inside between the rails. Allow this to sit for about 24 hours. You will have very convincing O-gauge ballast. Now I want to recommend this. S scale and larger only. You're really pushing it with S scale as far as your plausibility, your scale ratio aspect, but definitely O gauge and G scale. This cat litter method will work beautifully, but if you're thinking about trying this with HO scale or N scale, don't do it. The granules are too big, and it's not going to come out right. I hope you found this video to be entertaining and educational, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. This is the Texas Special reminding you to be safe out there and happy railroading.